watch and download and what have you.
Hey,
So
Alex, there's only one more after this. Is that right?
there's actually two. Sorry.
I tried
Um,
that after flow flip flop earlier.
well, if you do have to leave, then just make sure you submit your scores, uh,
Okay.
even if it's incomplete. Um, so okay, so Gerald, why don't you let it go whenever you're ready? You also want to take yourself off mute. Um,
Can you hear me now?
we
Yeah.
can hear you now. Okay,
Okay.
take it away, Jerry. Talk
All right,
fast.
I'm
Talk
Dr.
fast.
Jerry Shapiro.
People are losing
What?
attention. Talk fast. People are running out of attention.
Okay, so this is a pisser of a presentation. Does that get your attention?
That's funny.
Because
Good
we
start.
deal we deal with incontinent women and the embarrassment and loss of dignity from having to wear diapers and smelling like urine when you're around other people. I've been working with incontinent women since 2002. I do in-service training for another product, and when you talk to the women, you develop empathy for how terrible their lives are when they're leaking urine every time they cough, laugh, or sneeze. So because of that, hopefully this will change. Um, we realize this is a really big problem. It's basically 12% of all women, 50 million women in the US and Europe, 500 million worldwide. We have a product that will cost them less than they pay for incontinence pads, about $2,000 a year. And so we have a potential $100 billion market in the US and $1 trillion a year if we sold everybody in the world. Incontinence is fairly common of all kinds, 25% for women younger, 40% middle age, 45% of older women. With COVID, a lot of women are working from home today, taking care of their kids, don't have time to change their incontinence pads 10 times a day. So until now, there has not been an adequate remedy. And what we've developed is something that will suit women's needs, fit their needs, no more pads, no more leaks. For elderly women that can't change pads themselves and get exiled to a nursing home, we bring grandma back home with the kids and the grandkids to lead a happy life without pads. So what is the device? It's a small device that goes up into the urethra and blocks leaks. Very simply, I don't know if you can see this, the device has a channel through which urine flows, and when the pressure in the abdomen gets high from a sneeze or laugh, the valve closes and blocks the leak. As soon as the sneeze is over, the valve opens and the woman can urinate again. This is already patented. Patents are shown here. We've done in vitro data in a model of the lower urinary tract, designed it to close halfway between normal pressure and a sneeze, 100 centimeters of water, actual data in 5 devices, 101. Clinically, we're doing early feasibility study. So without the device, an incontinent woman leaked 34 milliliters urine. Put the device in, she leaks 0. And that's statistically significant with a p-value of 0.01. The competition is 4,000 years old. Incontinence pads invented in Egypt, a papyrus. Now there are thicker ones called incontinence briefs, adhesive tape covering up the urethral meatus. All these things have to be replaced 10 times a day. Very inconvenient. But basically what we do is we restore an incontinent woman's dignity at less cost, less time, and with more convenience.
We're muted.
Sorry, somebody needs to be muted. The team is myself. I've been in the medical device industry 51 years. I've held all kinds of positions, including president. My co-founder is a medical assistant working with incontinent women 20 years. We have an experienced marketing officer, 35 years experience, and a chief financial officer, plus a team of advisors. So we're the people that are going to get the job done. Business model is a device that needs to be replaced. Why? Because bacteria in the urethra will colonize the device. We mix an antimicrobial into the device to keep the bacteria off. It lasts 4 months. So this protects the patient, but has a side benefit of providing a recurring revenue stream, which generates lots of money. We price the device at less than what women are paying for pads right now. And once the device is reimbursed, it'll be billed to third-party payers, so it won't cost the woman anything. We sell it at a discount to the distributor, and these specialty medical device distributors take advantage of their existing relationships with doctors and sell our product. We have value propositions for the doctor, additional revenue for the third-party payer because we eliminate incontinence surgery. Patient benefits are seen. We keep elderly women who are incontinent out of nursing homes, saving them trillions of dollars for the government. and we keep 8 billion diapers out of landfills with an environmental benefit. So we have a quintuple bottom line. I'm not going to go into detail, but we need 1.1 million to get to FDA clearance. We're using the de novo pathway because there's nothing like our device on the market or in the patent literature. Our go-to-market is obviously first publish our clinical trial results in reputable medical journals to educate doctors. 3 months before we expect regulatory approval, we'll hire sales forces, pre-sale docs using our cost-effective digital media and virtual in-person visits, and educate patients through Facebook patient groups.
That's time.
Sorry? I didn't hear it. Upon regulatory approval, we'll start selling in 2 of the early adopter U.S. regions, the West Coast and the
Gerald,
South.
Gerald,
Yes,
you're
yes.
at
Oh,
time.
sorry.
Good presentation. Thank you. It looks like you're doing good work. Did I miss the clinical trial slide? I mean, where are you in the regulatory approval process? Well, you're working on it.
Well, de novo requires a pivotal clinical trial, which we have planned internationally, multi-site, 2 in Europe, 1 in the US. But we can't start that until we raise 1.1 million. And every investor we've talked to says, show me the data first, and then we'll get you the money. So we are doing our clinical study, was paused 5 months by COVID, now resumed. And probably in a few months, we'll have that clinical study done and take the data to the investors and say, where's your 1.1 million that you promised?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Anyway, okay, very good. Other questions from the field? Mrs. Harris-Frias, the OBGYN who was here before. Are you still here? I should say doctor.
Yeah, yes, we're here, but my wife isn't. So I have a particular question. That this one sounds great.
Okay. Well, she can watch the video live or later.
You will.
It's going to be posted on medstarter.tv.
Hey, Gerald, I got a great job, Gerald. This is Paul. I'm just curious. You mentioned the reimbursement for
Yes.
this. What do you think the odds are that this gets reimbursed?
It's already reimbursed. There are 2 CPT codes that have paid a total of $500 million, $500 per change of the device. So we don't have to get new codes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw it. You said it will be at some point covered potentially, so that there's no out of pocket. Did I miss that?
No, that applies to what's called the HCPCS code for a DME device.
Right.
So you have to be in the market for a year before you can get that code.
Okay.
Okay.
And then after that, it'll be free to the patient.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Spoken to any med device / pharma companies, life sciences companies about this already? And if so, what did they tell you?
We had several meetings with Hologic, which is a women's health company, and they said that once you have all the clinical trial work done and you've got FDA clearance, then we'll think about licensing it. So that's why we're going to manufacture and sell it ourselves.
How many people have you put these things in so far, and how did it go?
We have had it in about 6 women. The problem we have is that the women love it so much they don't want to give it back. And we say, no, you can't keep it. It's only in the protocol. You have to give it back. So it's very comfortable. It stops leaks, and it just fits their lifestyle. No more diapers, no more 10 times a day changing things. You just put it in, forget it, and for 4 months.
Is there any possibility that it would get clogged? Or, I mean, you said something about infection before. I mean, how long is the longest you left it in somebody? And how
Well, like I'm saying, early feasibility is just testing functionality, so we don't leave it in more than about a half an hour. The pivotal trial, which is 4 months per patient, will get that data.
Yeah, that's
Well, I think you mentioned nursing homes. Is this something you imagine being used in nursing homes to prevent
good, right?
It is.
operational issues?
Yes. I mean, there may be side effects such as preventing urinary tract infections because bacteria can't get past the device without getting killed.
I'm assuming you're going to put that in as an endpoint in your studies.
Now, we check for UTIs. We call the patient every 2 days after we put the device in and take it out. And so far, we have seen 0 UTIs.
Right. So you're going to check for UTI prevention as part of your endpoint. That's my question. Sorry, I wasn't clear.
No, that would be a collateral result. Our purpose is to prevent urine leaks, and it seems to be doing a great job of that.
Great. Thank you.
How likely is it to get dislodged and go too high or fall out?
Well, the device has an area called the retention feature, which pushes into the urethra very much like a cardiac stent. So we actually measure where the device is, and it seems to stay in place.
Yeah, but you've only left it in for half an hour. That doesn't tell you much about, you know, all sorts of other activities that could affect its location.
Well, actually, the female investors we pitched wanted us to test for those quote other activities. So we used a vaginal dilator and inserted and removed it 10 times, and then measured whether the device moved or not, and it didn't.
I had to ask that question, didn't I? So,
Your brother should have asked that question.
yeah, my brother is definitely the expert there. So I guess you're saying it didn't move.
Correct.
Good. Okay. Any other questions?
And you sort of, when you think of it, Alex, the worst that could happen is it comes out and falls in the toilet bowl. So
No,
that's
of course, it could happen
economic.
to go deeper and get lost.